there, and welcome to this Ask the Tutors with us, the staff of Performing and Production Arts at Conservatoire East. I suppose you're wondering, who am I? I asked myself that very same question. I'm Erica Dupuy. I am a course director here in Performing and Production Arts, and I teach acting and improvisation. So I teach across all of the pathways, and so I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the team. Helena.
Hello, my name's Helena Rudd, and I'm the course director for the Year 1 students in the performing pathways. So that's acting, dance and musical theatre. My specialism is dance and physical theatre, and I teach across all the pathways and all the years students on those subjects.
Thank you. Can we move to Poppy?
Hello, good evening. My name is Poppy Stevens. I am the Level 2 course director, and my specialism is in acting. I teach across the majority of levels and age group and pathways. Sorry, thank you.
Lovely. If we could move on to Tim Westerman.
Hello, my name's Tim. Am I live? Yeah. Hello, my name's Tim Westerman. I'm the course director for production arts, so technical theatre, both Year 1 and Year 2. And I teach just those, but we provide technical support to all the performers throughout the year.
Lovely. And also on this call, but unfortunately she's having a few technical difficulties, so she is here, but you can't see her, is Han Colthorpe, who is the head of Performing and Production Arts. But obviously you don't want to just hear from us. Sometimes the best people to hear about the course from is our students, and we've got 4 of them here with us this evening, giving up their time, so we thank them for that. So you can ask them questions as well. They'll probably give you some insights that we can't. So first of all, can I move to Elliot?
Hello. My name's Elliot. I'm a Year 2 musical theatre student. Yeah, this is my 2nd year. I'm actually a mature student. I did A-levels before I came to West Suffolk College, so any questions about stuff like that I can answer as well. And of course I'm also applying for drama schools this year, so any questions about moving on as well, I'd be happy to answer.
Lovely. And Nell?
Hello, I'm a Year 2 on the musical theatre pathway. Like Elliot, I'm also applying for drama schools this year, so any questions, feel free to ask. I also like to write music and things like that, so anything like that, please ask.
Cool. Excellent. And Sam Cockman?
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm also a Year 2 on the musical theatre course, looking to go to drama school next year, so I can answer any questions as well. I sort of focus more on singing, I suppose, anything else, so questions on that I can answer. Yeah, that's me.
Lovely. And finally, Rhapsody.
Hello, I'm Rhapsody and I'm a Year 2 musical theatre student. Like Sam said, I am, like him, I'm more of the singing side and also acting as well. So any questions, always happy to answer.
That's brilliant. Thank you. And as if by magic, some questions appear. The first question says, I just want to study dance. Can I do this? Let's give that one to Helena.
Hi. Okay, so on the dance pathway, yes, you can focus a lot of attention on dance, but we're preparing our students for the future. So nowadays, everybody has portfolio careers, so it's really hard to have a career just as a dancer. You know, dance is something where it might be included in acting shows, it might be in musical theatre pieces, that kind of thing. So we're trying to make people career ready so that they have a wider range of opportunities and choices to choose from. So you will be doing things like vocal ensemble singing, which is, you know, like singing in a choir. You will be doing things like acting for dancers, because again, it doesn't matter how brilliant you are technically, if you're completely blank in the face, people aren't going to want to use you in their production. So yeah, you will be doing mostly dance, but you will also be expected to do other things.
Lovely, which I believe Helena echoes the higher level drama school and dance or the dance school expectation as well.
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, next question. Do I have to do an interview? Helena, you're I think we can all go in on that one. So you've just done the last one. I'll start with Poppy. Do you have to do an interview?
Yes, we do interview students. It's an audition for each of the pathways. It's a really supportive environment. We require you to come in and either, depending on the pathway you are applying for, you will audition with a piece of material suitable for that pathway, and then you will stay with us and take part in different workshops. It's really fun, really supportive, and then we just have a catch up with you about what you wish to do. Okay,
Tim, how does that differ for production art?
So the difference for production arts is we don't ask you to perform something, unsurprisingly. What it is a portfolio interview with myself. We're retitling, I've just been reminded, to Backstage Theatre Arts now. Thank you, Han, for reminding me. It's Backstage Theatre Arts because we don't just focus on the real core tech side of lighting and sound, but we also look at doing the creative side of how to design a show. But yeah, so you'll have an interview with me where we sit down. There's still the workshops, so you'll still do the workshops with everybody else. Just give it your best shot. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the want to do it and take part. And in that interview, I'll just ask what experience you've got and why is this the course for you is generally my biggest one. Why do you want to do it? Because it's 2 years. And it's got to be one of those. It's your decision. You've got to make that choice, which is the best thing I can say for it, really.
And obviously, our students we've got here with us tonight, they're all on the same pathway, actually. But so we'll remember their auditions and their interviews. Do any of you want to have a quick word about that from a student perspective? Rhapsody, and then Sam.
My interview, it was really relaxed and friendly, and it wasn't scary at all. It was a really welcoming environment, and I personally felt very very safe. And it was more just like a talk, really. It wasn't really an interview. Yeah, they looked at what we'd done and everything, and we were asked questions about ourselves, but it was more of a chat, to be honest.
Lovely. Sam, can you add to that?
Yeah, but my interview, yeah, it was really relaxed, very informal. It was just talking about why I want to do the course, sort of talking about myself, which is always fun. Yeah, it was a very relaxed environment. Yeah, it's nothing that was like a stressful thing at all. Yeah, it was fun.
Excellent. So I'll move to our next question. How often do you do shows? Let's put that to one of the students. Let's put that to Elliot. Elliot, how often do we do shows?
Well, we are actually quite lucky at this college. Compared to other colleges, you might only ever be doing one performance a year, but amazingly, we do 3 different shows every term. Very fun, very enjoyable, different casts. You get to work with near everybody on the course, all different pathways, not restricted to whatever pathway that they're on as well. And the shows are so diverse that you can do, even of course, owing to most recent months where we haven't been able to perform in real life, we've still been doing shows in whatever form they are, still making productions, and it's incredibly fun. But you will get to do 6 shows in total while you're here, and that could even lead to more. We have shows we have an a cappella singing group called Amado who do performances. We also do open events where we perform at, and also we have improvability shows with improv shows as well. So there's tons of different opportunities for you to perform in tons of different ways. We also have a Christmas show most years that we perform. Of course, this year it was virtual, but still we make something, and we always put productions on. It's really fun. You always get to do multiple different things. You're never going to run out of stuff to do.
Lovely. Nell, anything to add to that?
I think, to be honest, Elliot covered most of it there. I think all I could say is that there's always something that you're working on, which for me is quite important because I love to be busy. I get bored very easily. So I think always having a project to look forward to and things to improve on is vital, especially in the time we're in now. I think having something to look forward to is pretty important. And I think the fact that we're still able to do during this situation is pretty good. So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Nell. Thank you very much. We have another question here. What are the entry requirements now for, we're talking about, Helena, maybe just have a little chat. Maybe we can link this with the next question that I'm going to put to Poppy, which is what's the difference between level 2 and level 3? So Helena, can we have the entry requirements for the level 3, please?
Okay, so we have a staged interview audition process, but the bottom line is that on the performing pathways, we interview you, you do your audition piece, we give everybody summer work to do, which is practical and written. There's also an induction period at the start of the very beginning of the term, and we're also looking ideally for you to have a minimum of, I might get this the wrong way around, 5 grade 4s, or is it 4 grade 5s?
5 grade 4s.
5 grade 4s, and ideally you'll have maths and English in that, just so that you then don't have to study it again once you join us. But if you don't get your maths and English, then you will have the opportunity to retake that with us.
Okay, lovely. And what about the level 2, Poppy? And maybe just explain a bit about that foundation year and what's the difference.
Sure. So the level 2 is the foundation course. What that entails is you study each and every discipline. You have sessions throughout the week from every discipline, which gives you the understanding and core skills of each discipline, ready to move on to whichever pathway you choose. It sort of is there for people who are wishing to gain confidence, those that haven't got necessarily the academic grades required, or those just not really sure which pathway they wish to choose. It's a really good place for you to start, especially if you're wishing to gain some more experience in it. In terms of grades, Erica, they've gone out of my brain. Do you remember how many they are?
I think it's 5 at, it used to be D to, but whatever so it would be 3 to 1, 5 at 3 to 1.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because it's equivalent to the GCSE criteria, isn't it? A level 2 pathway. So
am I right in assuming, Helena, that to get onto the level 3 you need a 4 or above in maths and or English?
Yes.
Yes, so if you haven't got a 4 or above in maths and English, then we recommend the level 2. Is that correct? Yes. Yes,
it is, although occasionally we might look at somebody's summer work, that they've done the written part of the summer work, and if we feel that they could actually cope with the qualification, then we may review that. So everybody's considered individually.
Excellent. There's a question coming up in a little while about pathways, which we will get to. I understand we keep using this terminology and it might be new to you, so we will come to that. There are more questions coming in. Do I have to pay for costume or props? Let's ask one of our students this. Let's go to Sam. Sam's put his hand up. So do I have to pay for costumes or props?
For the most part, no. There's a costume sort of supply at college, which you can use for shows. Alternatively, if you have things, if the show is set in modern times, it might be that you have a blue jumper or sort of thing, so you can use your own things. But with the costumes, you have to return them within 2 weeks, and if so, it will be sort of £5 a week before you get them. But that's not a problem at all. Helena's in charge of that, I think. So yeah, you can either use costumes from the costume supply, or potentially, depending on the show, your own stuff.
And quite often, depending on the show, we've hired costumes in before. We hire from the Theatre Royal, we hire from other places. It really depends on the show. But we wouldn't, definitely not props. Tim, you've got a team of people making props, is that right?
I do indeed. Yeah, part of the Backstage Theatre Arts programme is props making. We do as much as we can. We generally make a find, make, buy list is what I always say. So we have a prop store of some amount, but if it's a specialist prop, sometimes we do have to go in and make it. So bigger props, like for example, one of the shows that we're working on at the moment, when it was going to be realised, we were trying to make really small people and make things look big. So of course we have to do things at scale, and sometimes they're just specialist props or specialist furniture. So we did Live Spirit last year, and we had a chandelier that fell from the roof, and pyrotechnics that came out, or shelves that fall over, or all those sorts of things. So yes, there are props on site, and we do make them as well, as much as we can, because it gives everybody a bit more investment in it, and you never know when you need that skill.
Absolutely, and I would add to that we are lucky enough to have budgets for our shows. So when we talk about these shows that we do every year, even though we've not got infinite money, the college are good enough to actually give us budgets so we can get in those specialist props, costumes, set, and the like. So we do actually have a budget that we can draw on. Lovely. Is there a uniform? Students, does one of you want to take this one? Now Hammond has offered this. Now, is there a uniform?
Well, I don't know if you could tell, but we are all wearing black. So yeah, the idea is to wear plain black clothes, i.e. something that you could dance in would be ideal if you are a dancer, or even if not. And ideally no logos or patterns, anything that's distracting, because the whole point is that we're meant to look like a cast, like a team. It's a way to just look put together, and especially in rehearsals, it definitely pays off looking all the same and nothing's too distracting. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a blank canvas, isn't it? So it's so that you're not putting your whole identity on yourself. Not exuding an identity when in an improv class, for example, you might play 6 or 7 different characters over the course of one class. It's not saying we don't want you to have an identity. That's absolutely not true. But it's just so that you can more easily get into character. It's a drama school standard. If you go around most drama schools, you'll see everybody in black clothes that they can work in. Lovely. How is the course assessed? Who would like to take that one? Tim.
I'll go with it and correct me if I get any areas wrong.
I will.
But it's assessed basically on a formative assessment throughout the year generally. So you have essentially 3 opportunities to make your best essay, and we do a reflective essay. So we don't use exams. We're not based in exams, but you create an online portfolio. We use Edgeblogs, and through that you write an essay on your context of what the show is about, the research, all the things that you might need to be looking for. So for performers, looking into your character, looking into their motivations, looking into previous shows that have gone on and previous performances. For the text, looking into all the technical elements, your practical skills, which is a big part of it, and reflecting on those. And then eventually, after the show finishes, you are doing an evaluation as well. And we also ask for weekly and daily blogs as well. The whole idea is to make you a reflective practitioner and make you really good at not needing us as a staff member there to judge what is good and what is bad. You should be able to develop that as your own practice, and going forward it really helps you out. And then at the end of the year we have something called the FMP, or the final marked piece, and hopefully by then you're in your best position to give your best attempt, and it is equivalent to 3 A stars at A level for your UCAS points if you achieve a distinction in those criteria. And like I say, you get sort of 3 times of trying it, and we try and give you feedback every time and develop you, so you really feel comfortable by the end that you're putting your best foot forward for that final piece.
Absolutely, and I'm going to try and segue into another question here, which is how much theory work is there? So I think that Tim's explained that really well, in that the course we do, everything is project based. All the written work you will be doing is to do with your show, is to actually make you understand your character, make you understand what you're trying to achieve, which is exactly what a performer does. And we do that in a more sort of obviously formalised way because it is an assessment, but it's about the whole process as well. It's not just about your performance, it's about the entire process. Would any of the students like to talk about how much theory there is? Or how the theory works? Or how? No? Rhapsody, thank you.
So you have allocated times during in your timetable where you are able to actually do your theory work. So if you use them properly and actually do your college work in it, it doesn't really end up being a lot of work at home, if I'm honest. But you get a lot of comments from your assessor telling you how you can improve. Like I think it's around every 2 weeks, maybe. Yeah, every 2 weeks you get new comments on like how you can improve it, or like in how you can get to like the next grade. But I think as long as you're doing the work when you should be in your allocated timetable times, I feel like personally there isn't. It may look a lot, but it's not as daunting as you think.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that, as I said, the only thing that I can really stress is the relevance of it to your project. What we don't do is set homework. We don't give you something and say, go and write an essay about Stanislavski and hand it in next week and I'll go through it with a blue pen. It's a little bit more, dare I say, sophisticated than that, in terms of the fact that it is actually about your personal growth as a performer, as well as learning all of those underlying techniques. So it is all relevant to your show and to your portfolio and to how you can improve to go on to higher education or drama school, or university or drama school. What different pathways are there? Okay, who would like to take this one? Helena, let's hear from you.
So on the performing side of things, we have an acting for stage and screen pathway. We have a dance pathway. And we have a musical theatre pathway. So they're the 3 kind of performing strands that we have. And then I'm going to hand over to Tim, if that's all right, for describing what's covered in the production backstage arts.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Oh yeah, so backstage arts, we cover pretty much everything backstage, as the name suggests. We go from creating the designs for shows and colour palettes and all of that. You work potentially as a lighting designer, but we always also go through to the management level. So we go through to being a production manager, a technical manager, or even most importantly, generally the stage manager who is running those shows. And throughout the year, we work all the shows as well as in the backstage arts. So we're not assigned to one show as the performers are. So you all work 9 shows a year as a minimum, but it generally works out at about 20 shows a year with all the other things that we do, because we go and do installs in places, or we support events, or so there's loads of stuff. You're constantly busy. At some points we're doing things like 8 to 7 weeks of constant turnaround in normal times, of setting up for a show, teching a show, having the show run, then the next week turning it around again. So it's really industry based. It's to get that stamina built up. But yeah, that's it. It's sort of everything and anything that you can imagine backstage, and even more so now. Now we're doing more media editing and camera work and all those sorts of bits and pieces.
Lovely. So in terms of that, then the pathways really differ in particularly the performance ones in terms of your timetabled day, and it depends which timetable between. So we've got 2 sets of the day. We have our technique classes from 9:15 to 2:45, and then we have your season show, which is the show you're working towards, from 3 till 5. You will all audition for the same shows regardless of pathway, but it's your technique classes that differ. So maybe would one of the students like to talk through their timetable and what their timetable looks like as a musical theatre student? Now.
So for the musical theatre students, we do dance technique classes, and the 3 styles we do are jazz, tap and ballet. and usually those are streamed into your abilities so that you're not pushed too hard, or on the other side that you are pushed enough. So the 3 streams are advanced, intermediate and beginner. You may start off in year 1 as one stream, and by year 2 you might improve. And then we have acting classes. So we have a straight acting where you're looking at practitioners or script work. We have an improv class with Erica, which is great fun to test improv, which I've really enjoyed this year. And thought I'd tell you that. And we also have vocal ensemble classes, because obviously singing in a group is very different to singing solo. So it's really important to learn those techniques. We have singing one-to-one classes on every other Friday for about half an hour each with our singing tutor. And yeah, I think that's most of it. And then obviously independent study to work on your coursework, and reflective practice times, which you often get with your course director to ask any help with any problems that you may have.
Lovely. Sam, was there anything to add to that?
Yeah, Nell covered it mostly. So in the sense that it's separate, differentiated in between beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That obviously doesn't apply to the season shows. They're separate to these technique classes. But yeah, so they're for musical theatre. It's streamed in relation to dance ability. So then the actual classes of acting, sort of improv, portfolio acting, they won't be sort of streamed in that same way. It's just you're with a sort of certain group of people for your lessons. And again, some crossover with different pathways. So yeah, it's not like be all and end all essentially, but it's a way to sort of gauge you, I guess. Lovely.
Helena, did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that everybody also has a portfolio audition prep class, which is really important. So because what that's doing is helping prepare people for the progression that they're going to make, whether that's for a level 2 student who's then progressing onto the level 3 course, or for a level 3 progressing onto the from year 1 onto year 2, and then really importantly for the year 2s who are then going on to their drama school and university auditions and interviews. So that's consistently all the way through so that you can build up a portfolio of skills and songs and speeches and things that you can then take in with your interview and audition.
Lovely. Yes. Unfortunately, we don't seem to have anyone here. We didn't have anyone. We were supposed to have someone from the acting pathway on tonight, but they had technical issues as well. I blame Storm Christopher. But on the acting pathway, you don't do obviously the tap, jazz, and the ballet. You do have physical theatre, and you do have a bit of a movement class, because if you go to drama school or if you go to university, any actor is not going to not have to move at all. So usually actors do have to move as well. And also you will get an ensemble singing class. We don't expect you as an actor to have individual singing lessons on your own, but you do get an ensemble singing class. And as alongside that, you get the same, you get acting, you get improvisation, you get the portfolio, all the other classes, you get more acting, obviously, on the acting pathway. And on the dance, you still receive your ballet, tap and jazz, but you also receive choreography and contemporary on the dance pathway. So that's where the pathways differ. And as we said, you still do acting on the dance pathway and with the other dancers, and you also do ensemble singing. So you will be singing in a group as well. Right, what do we do in the workshop? I am assuming this has been asked twice, either by the same person or it's a hot topic. I'm assuming you mean the audition workshops. For that, we have 4 over the course of an audition day, where everybody who's auditioning, regardless of level, pathway, is all in one place, and we will do 1 in movement, 1 in singing, 1 in backstage arts, and one in acting. I just completely blanked there because we've got a new student just joined us on the call, George Peachy. Right, we'll come to you in a moment, George. Our actor has arrived. Lovely. So let's look at our next question. What do you do for a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and a dancer for adults? What course should I do? Oh, that's what do you anyone want to go for that one? Unfortunately, we don't currently do any evening classes or adult provision, but we have had people in their 20s come in from to do the course before because they want to retrain, but unfortunately, if you do retrain as an adult to do a level 3 course, I believe you have to pay for it. But unfortunately, I don't know how much. So that would probably be a great question for our advice and guidance at the college, because they would know more about payments and courses and levels and than I would. But that portfolio of singing, songwriting, guitarist and dancer looks like you're looking towards actor musicianship, and I would say that would be a good fit for musical theatre. Lovely. What happens if I don't get my English or maths grade? Poppy?
Yeah, so we do look at each case as case by case, and we look student by student. So we will look for whichever fit is best for you. We will identify if actually you starting on the level 2 foundation course whilst achieving your maths and English grade is going to be better for you, to give you more time to sort of focus on that as well, or if actually you would cope on the level 3 pathway if you've got the grades required to enter at level 3 from the offset, and that's what's best for you. That's what we'll do. So it is case by case that we look at.
And you will continue to study. If you don't get your maths or English, you will continue to study maths and English while you're with us at Conservatoire East. But the good thing about that is that it will run along. It won't ever run alongside a practical session. So that it won't be that you're having to sit in a maths class or an English class and everyone else is doing physical theatre. It will be at a time where practical classes aren't running. So you don't miss out on anything by having to continue your maths and English. Any of the students, George, you've not missed out on anything, have you? This is George Peachy, our actor, by the way. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, yeah. I'm George, and I'm a level 1 actor currently. I previously was on the level 2 course, so this is technically my 2nd year, but 1st year as an actor on a level 3 course. And yeah, I do maths and English as well, and yeah, you don't miss out on anything. You're kept involved in the loop. It's all in time when everyone else is catching up on WordPress, so yeah, you get a little bit less scheduled WordPress, but it's easy to catch up on. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you, George. Excellent. Can you support us in finding work experience or employment after the course? Tim, I'm going to put that one to you first, and then we'll come back to I'll come back to that one.
No worries. Yes, so we do our best, is what I always say. We always do our best. I've written references for people lately who haven't been with us for a couple of years or have just finished with and stuff, so we always support you as much as we can through whatever. I personally have contacts in the local theatre industry because I work freelance. That's the big thing to say, is all the staff here are industry current, so we all take part in some form of continuous practitioner development to keep ourselves current in technique classes and things like that. So yeah, we do our best, and if it seems like there's an opportunity, we always put it out there. I generally put out opportunities for crewing. This past couple of years ago, when we could have shows and stuff, I've had students that I've currently got working at the Theatre Royal on shows because there was an opportunity for them. So yeah, we do as much as we can.
I would say likewise for performance. However, the thing is about being a performer is it is unlikely that you would leave. It's probably about 1 in a million that you would leave a level 3 course, so leave your A-level equivalent course and go straight into the industry. It doesn't happen very often unless you go and get cast as Harry Potter in a film, which does happen, but it would be something I wouldn't rely on. What we can do is as exactly the same with us performers. As Tim said, I constantly get people, sort of directors and writers. I work a lot in Cambridge as well as in Bury and in Norwich and other places, saying to me, I need a person to fill this role. It's a young person. And we've worked a lot with people like that I've recommended people to go up for roles with people who live locally. But our goal really is, if you want to get into the industry as such, is to kind of take that step onto higher education, because we can breed your talent so far with our training, but it's really the next level up which is going to get you into the industry. Does anyone want to add to that?
I'll just recap on my bit. Yeah, sorry, I slightly misunderstood the question there as well. Yeah, so for the technicians, the same sort of thing applies. The best way that I can put it is that if you go and train at drama school, it makes it a lot easier in the industry from my personal experience, because you've already got something that says that you've achieved that higher level of training. You may well get in without going on to that next level, but it might take you longer, and it's not always such an easy process as if you take advantage of all those skills that hopefully we've given you and then you put them into practice and get them even more refined. And at university, you're going to meet the people that you might well be working with. There are still people that phone me or contact me saying, hey, I've got this job going, would you like to do it? So think of university not just as that next stepping stone, but yeah, giving you all those industry connections and getting you even more out there in the world.
However, what I will say on work experience is the fact that our season is your work experience. You are working in a professional theatre environment. That's why we structure it the way that we do. We encourage you to go and do other things as well. Amado counts as your work experience. Doing a live improvisation show in front of a paying audience, that is work experience. Every single performance you do with us, and you'll do a lot, it counts towards your work experience. We don't act like we function like a professional theatre company. We have a show, people audition, we allocate parts according to casting. We don't allocate parts because we say, oh, well, you're a second year, you're a first year, we'll give that to the second year because they've been here longer, because that's not how the profession works. So we take everybody entirely on their own merit as soon as they walk into an audition for any one of our shows. And that's how we have it as work experience. As I say, it's budgeted, it's rehearsed, the tickets are sold to the public. So essentially, employment, we can also help you find employment if you do decide, and it has happened, to do this course and then say, actually, I want to go and do something else, a job in a different sector. You will find that having done 2 years of performance, your confidence, your eloquence and your resilience will actually make you a much more likely candidate for people to want to employ. You won't be phased in an interview, I can guarantee you that. So very quickly then, our last question, looks like our last question, yep. Oh, sorry, I've got 2 more questions, but very quickly, because do many go on to university? Do many go on to university? Now, do one of my students want to talk about where they're applying to this year and what their experience is? Elliot.
So I think the whole moving on thing, it's the personal choice, and a lot of students on our course kind of choose their own way. It's not like a set in stone. So I'm auditioning for drama school. I'm auditioning for Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, the Birmingham Conservatoire, the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, Liverpool Institution of Performing Arts, and Manchester Metropolitan. My choices with going onwards are mainly because I want to work in the industry later on. I think when you're looking at the career dimensionally, going on to drama school is a very clear and easy step forwards. You get a lot of links, such as you get links to agencies and agents who will easily help you break into the industry itself. You get a lot more professional links by working with practitioners who've worked in the industry and such. It's kind of the natural flow of how it works. And so moving on through higher education is seen as quite a, not like the definite route you have to take, because this is with this industry, anything can work, anything can happen. That's the whole point of it all. But it's very clear cut, it's very safe as a option and very reliable. And it also allows you to become better as a performer while also looking forward to getting to those links. But of course, there's multiple people in our course in our year who aren't auditioning this year. Maybe they're taking a gap year, maybe they're taking another path, and it's up to them more so than what. And the tutors on this course will fully accept whatever path or whichever direction you want to go forwards. They'll encourage you to take whichever way you want. Then it's not going to be like some schools, they're like, you need to go to university or you need to do a BTEC or something. It's more so that you could do what you feel's right.
Lovely. Anyone else want to add to that? Sam, let's hear from Sam.
I am too auditioning for drama school this year, but I would say that obviously a drama school isn't the only route. In the Central, for example, that's like my top dream choice. They have 25 people a year on their BA acting course and musical theatre, and something like 4,000 or 5,000 people audition each year. So obviously not everyone gets into drama school, and a lot of famous actors don't. Like I know DiCaprio, he didn't go to a formal drama school sort of thing. He was just auditioned for loads of stuff. So it's sort of a lot about adaptability and sort of finding your own path, which is sort of something all of us students are sort of aware of, that this year might not be the year. So yeah, it's a sort of learning the tools you get at Connie, so these 2 years and this work experience to just find your own way at points. Yeah. Lovely,
thank you. Any Tim?
I was going to say, just to reiterate, that the points that the UCAS points that you get from this qualification are equivalent to 3 A stars at A level if you get distinctions. Therefore, yes, drama school might not always be the choice, but if you've got those UCAS points in the bag, you've got them in the bag. It's not like they're going to look at your qualification and go, oh, you did it in theatre. They're going to go, those are valid points. So if you do change the direction you're going to go in, those opportunities are still there for you because you've worked for those points, so you can still use them to progress. Maybe you'll go and do a different course like English or journalism or something like that. But
I think that's a really interesting point, Tim, because actually this year I know we've got one of our students who said she doesn't really want to go. She wants to go the academic route. She doesn't want to go the performance route, and she's already got 3 offers to study English literature. Some with drama and one with journalism, I think, 2 with drama and 1 with journalism. And so she wanted to go that university route. Last year, as Helena pointed out, 90% of our students progressed onto drama and dance schools and universities. This year, I know that we only have the only students we don't have auditioning is because they want to take a gap year or because they want to go and do something else. And it's early days yet, but a number of our students already have offers from institutions. And as I said, even last year, some students who decided that they didn't want to go to university then decided during clearing that they did. And we've got a few now who kind of at the last minute decided to go to university. There is a mythology around this that you can't get to university from our course, and I could send you all the the evidence that we can. Yeah, we have an incredibly high number go on to drama school and higher education, and quite often those who don't is through choice rather than through having no option. Anything else to add to that? Helena?
Yeah, I was just saying it'd be a really good idea to check out our website, Conservatoire East, because you can look at our alumni page on there, and you'll be able to see all the different places that people are have gone on to and what they're doing. So check out our website. That's a really good kind of place to actually get a good feel for what our students go on to do afterwards.
Absolutely. And if you follow us on social media as well, you can find us on Instagram and you can find us on Facebook, as well as on our website. Then we tend to keep updating about alumni and where they are and what they're doing. We're starting to see now, sort of, because Conservatoire East in its current form has been around for 6 years now. So we're starting to see our students who've gone to drama school kind of coming out of the other side and excited to see their careers. I mean, the final sort of things I would say, I would add, because we're kind of running out of time, is I can understand if some of you are between A levels, between a vocational course, but I would add to that and ask, why do one thing that you want to do and two things that you might not really want to do when you could just be doing the thing that you want to do? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that commitment. We're looking for those people who look at this as an industry, and it is still an industry. It's you know, there's still loads of stuff going on out there, even though we keep hearing that everything's shut, which obviously some of it is. But you know, filming is still booming, telly's still booming. And the Netflix can't make shows fast enough, and those shows need actors, and those actors could be you. So that's, I'll leave it there on that little soundbite. So thank you ever so much for joining us this evening. Thank you to all of the students for giving up their time, and the staff, and for you to listening to us. Check out our website if you need any other questions answered, and then you can always get in touch with us through there. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.